Match, and this one is, as Roy Buckley used to say, for all the wheat.
And interestingly enough, previously Palombi had chosen to finish on the left lane, and now he's chosen to finish on the right.
23 years old, 6'3", 190 pounds, and all boulder.
A little light, breaks down the 2-4-5, a good break to leave only the 5-pin. He can practice at this spare now. Even though he's had 6 practice shots, he can get a little bit more feel what the lane's going to do under the pressure on lane 33 at the 5-pin.
Only the 3rd career appearance on national television for Palombi, of course, finishing 3rd in the Long Island Open earlier this winter and winning the Tucson Open back in '84.
Has the 5-pin, no problem. And let's see if that strike in the 10th frame took something out of Dave Husted or acted as a springboard, and he can just keep right on striking and cruise through this championship match.
He has the momentum. Make no mistake about that. Palombi realizes that he's got his hands full in this title match.
Right, blows him out of there.
Just confidence has got to be flowing at this point when you win a couple of clutch matches, and you do so with big strikes in the 10th. It just makes you feel like you can strike on every shot.
Oh, absolutely. When you can come through under that kind of pressure on national television to win those games like that, it just, confidence just flows through you.
Now in 18 appearances on national television, Dave Husted has evened up his overall record at 14 wins and 14 losses. I have a feeling he'd like to go 15 and 14 before we're all done tonight.
He just says, I want to get above 500, that's all. To take a quick early 10-pin lead. And the pin was coming across, but a little short message this time. Didn't quite get there.
The pro bowler's nemesis, the half 10. Explain the half 10, Mike.
Well, the half 10 usually is when the ball comes in behind the headpin, a little bit light in the 1-3 pocket, and the player has not quite got the lift with his fingers that he wants to get that 6-pin out of the channel to get that 10. Cross lane at the 10-pin has it. When you see a player come in and that half pocket hit and that 6-pin snaps out of there, you know that he lifted it well. Now watch the 6-pin, second on the right here. It'll go into the channel and die there. Doesn't quite come out of it. And that tells you I need to get a little better lift the next time.
Get some fingers into the shot.
That's exactly right. Now you see the difference? Same hit. Palombi, though, had the lift, and lane 34 finishes a little bit more than 33. Knocked that 10-pin out of there.
Ron Palombi Jr. in match play this week. 19 wins, 3 losses, 2 ties. You just don't get much better than that against the competition on the tour.
No. One time in my career, I won 19 games out of 24. It was in the Firestone in 1970.
And you were top seed?
No, I finished second. That's when Don Johnson was the top seed.
Holy cow.
To take the lead. Oh, pretty shot. Perfect. That momentum has just changed, Denny.
Palombi, an outstanding athlete, played basketball and baseball in high school.
Plus, he was on Linda's list.
That's right. One of the sexy 6. That's quite an honor.
Husted playing deeper, throwing slower. Perfect shot. But he's got a tiger on his hands here. 10-pin difference.
Down 10. And in the heat of battle, take a look at the concentration. Really, since he won last fall, had a very, very solid winter tour, and he's bowling probably right now as well as he has in ages.
And his composure is excellent. He's just pacing himself. He's not panicking when he falls behind. He's able to come through in the clutch. Right now he needs a strike to even this match into a good rhythm. Perfect. There we got a match.
We got a match is right as Husted answers back with a double in the 3rd and the 4th. And hang on to your seats. We're in the title match here at Earl Anthony's Dublin Bowl. Ron Palombi Jr. And this match is even Steven. Palombi working on a double, shooting in the 4th on the right lane, lane 34.
And Husted not even looking, has his head down, not even watching Palombi bowl. Out the window, just too fast up the line, lost it off his hand. Palombi doesn't slide, he plants at the end. Sometimes that can help you. In this case, it didn't. Watch his approach here. Watch his last step. There's no slide, just a step, and he lost that ball to the right, and it was gone immediately. Needs to regather his composure to make the 1-2-4. No gifts to here. And gets it across.
Nice conversion, and really all week long, Ron Palombi Jr. bowling outstanding here at Earl Anthony's Dublin Bowl. I asked him the key to carrying those corner pins, and obviously that's why he led the tournament this week.
Well, the secret to that for me was really changing balls at the end of the regular 18-game qualifier. I had used the ball with axis weight to get me to the finals, but I really felt that to make a run at the show, I needed to change equipment once again, and I did that, and I was able to carry the 10th just a little bit better than everybody else.
Carried it pretty well there on that shot on the left-hand lane as he strikes and still trails by 3. Dave Husted asking for and receiving a re-rack.
That's his first in this championship game.
Obviously, Dave feels this is a key shot, trying to
exactly right.
come up with a turkey here in the 5th.
You've spotted. He a little extra pressure in this one. He feels it inside. Let's see how he responds. Just like he's responded. Oh boy, he threw that well, left the 4-pin, a grimace on his face, and he says to himself as Michelle looks on, he said, "Good shot. I saw that." So he's not disappointed in his performance on that, just in the result.
The solid 4 a little high. I would imagine that he'll maybe be moving a fraction to the left with his feet on the next shot on that right lane.
Interesting. You should bring that up. My adjustment always when I left those 4 pins was like that. I figured that when you were high like that, you know, the company that a 4-pin has is a 9-pin or a 10-pin or something like that. I didn't like that company, so I would always rather be light, even with my ball, and I would fudge a half a board to the left.
When you mentioned even with your ball, of course you used to be able to play the 3rd or 4th arrow and just strike at will.
Oh, of course, yeah. Love that angle.
Yes, the old Durbin deflection angle, as they used to call it.
Still probably the only professional bowler in the history of the PBA to leave the 5-8-10 on national television. So.
Oh, jeez. Boy, I'm glad you said that. Husted stretched out with that shot, and the result is 10 in the pin.
And you see that half pocket hit that time where the 10-pin snapped out of there, and he got the full extension lift that time. Perfect shot. And watch the 6-pin this time. We saw it earlier. The 6-pin goes to the channel, second from the right, comes out of the channel live, and knocks out that 10. And the difference with that is simply the lift he got with his fingers. Palombi to take the lead in the match. He trails by 2. We're in the 6th frame. A little extra time. High, breaks it up, only the 6-10, and he's picked a finish on this lane. He picked originally, what the players do is in the practice session, the tournament director will ask them what lane do they want to finish on. And he picked at that time lane 33. Suddenly, after he threw those 6 practice shots before this match, he changed his mind, and suddenly he's lost lane 34. Cross lane at the 6-10. Hard, and has it.
Ron Palombi Jr. came a long way this week, Mike. He started out the tournament after 6 games in 89th place. And as he previously mentioned, switched balls after the qualifying. And obviously that was the key to his success this week.
Well, that's really a progression to come from 89th up to leading the tournament by a couple hundred pins. He ran away with it last night.
Just came out last night and destroyed everybody in match play.
Why? Shot well over 300 over, which is, when I say over like that, we use 200 as a par, and if I shoot 210, I get plus 10. He averaged about 240 last night.
Tossed some big-time numbers, and that was a big-time shot as he genuflects a little bit on lane 33. The approach, just a little body English to help that 10 fall down.
But he's got to figure out lane 34. Husted, keeping the ball in the pocket, left the 4-pin on lane 34 in the 5th frame, left the 10-pin on lane 33 in the 2nd frame. So he's had every ball in the pocket, 4 strikes, looking for his 2nd double. Good loft. High, though. Breaks up the split. And again, both bowlers having trouble with lane 34. It looked like David fell off balance a little bit to the right, that his shoulder dipped down, and the ball was just left of its intended line right away.
The way he's lined up on that lane, it doesn't appear he has much room on the approach with the ball return. He can't get too much deeper, can he?
Well, he's a player that seems to drift a little bit left with his approach, and I always felt they had the advantage, seeing as I could never do it.
Well, what's the advantage of drifting to the left?
Well, when you play inside, that ball return doesn't get in your way that much. You're able to get around it. It doesn't bother you. But when you walk a little straighter, or you walk to the right a little bit, you run out of room. You can't climb on top of the ball return.
What about the olden days when those ball returns used to run all the way to the foul line?
Well, then you're really in trouble. You had to play a line, different line.
You used to wear a pad on your right foot, your right ankle.
8th frame. Husted up by 2. Both players hitting lane 33. David leaves a solid 10. It's going to be a 1-pin match if he makes this. It's going